has been a technique that has been suggested by Sydney Godwin, and I am so grateful that she sent it in. I'd never done it before, and I absolutely love it. It's so much fun, so I hope you're going to enjoy it too. I'm going to be using the stamp set Ranunculus Romance, which is just gorgeous for all sorts of cards, vintage, romantic, just ordinary. So let's flick over to the desktop and I will show you what I am meaning. Now let me just double check I can see that we are working. I always like to just make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Right. Excellent. I always like to just make sure. And we don't want to hear that. So Ranunculus Romance. Hi Shani, welcome. Thank you. Just going to put everything on mute. I forgot to put everything on mute and everything's beeping. And hi Lynette, welcome. I'm going to be doing, as I say, the cracked glass technique. I had so much fun, and as I say, Sydney Godwin suggested it, and I'm so grateful because I've never ever tried it before. So yeah, fell in love with it. It's a little bit just a tiny bit sort of time consuming in the sense you've got to repeat something a few times, but really it is quite simple. So let me just get started. I will grab one of these. Now I'm going to do it in sort of a vintagey colour. So I've already done this part of it. So I have, because it does take a little while, the extra part, the inside here with the one of the stamps from the Ranunculus Romance, and I have used the brick embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and I have just used the blending brush to sort of go around the edges and pop up some of the bricks a little bit. So that's the card base. I'll set that aside, and I'm going to be using Very Vanilla. I quite like using Very Vanilla for vintage style cards, I must admit. Okay, let me see. Let me grab, I'm going to be using Early Espresso to stamp. Now, I don't know if anyone out there's tried this before. I hadn't heard it or tried it, and it is fascinating. It really does work, actually. Okay. So that's lovely. Just the stamp alone is very vintage. I love how that comes out. Okay. Just going to add some of these beautiful background stamps. And I've got the franking thing with the Eiffel Tower. Just love all the little facets in this stamp set, actually. There's lots of little things that you can add. Okay, so I'm just going to put hello on here. Hopefully I'm going to get that straight. No, not bad at all. Okay. So I'm going to colour this in with some blends, just not a lot of shading, because as you can see from that stamp, there's a lot of shading already on the rose. So I've just got dark granny apple green, which actually comes out quite dark. I tried some of the other colours, but this one I thought was the best. So I've actually used this stamp set quite a bit. I just love the versatility of it, actually. Really, I've got some samples at the end to show you, but you can actually make quite different looks with it. And it is carrying over. Okay. So because there is all the shading already with the stamp, it's actually so easy to colour because naturally got the shading with the stamp. Okay. And I've got Calypso Coral here. So I'm just going to add, I always do my dark first. And just going to follow the shading that's on here. So who's getting excited about the release of the new annual catalogue and the new in colours? I'm still waiting to get my first box with all the goodies. Just takes a little bit longer here at the moment. That's all right, it'll be worth the wait. There we go. And then the light. I'm not being too fussy with this. Just got to give that vintagey look, which wasn't really precise as such, was it? The vintage sort of look. Okay. Beautiful. And next I'm going to just use crumb cake and just do the edges a little bit. Makes it look a little bit more vintage. Of course, you don't have to do this vintage at all, actually, this technique. I'm doing a vintage card with this technique, but you could do anything, like a stained glass window, anything like that. Okay. Doesn't have to be a lot. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do, this is where the magic happens. I'm going to grab this just to put this on. I don't want the paper to slip or fly away. I'm going to grab my clear embossing powder and my Versamark pad. So firstly, you just go over the whole, whoops, a bit of powder on there, just shake that off. You go over the whole card with your Versamark. Now, in one tutorial I watched, they put on Versamark in between each layer. And then another tutorial I watched, they only put it on the first time and then kept layering, because what you need to do is keep layering the clear embossing powder. They just kept layering while the embossing was warm. So I have done it that way and it's worked perfectly fine. So it just saves you actually using Versamark each time. So as long as it's still warm while you're heating it up, that's all. So I do, excuse me, I'm going to be blasting you with the heat tool. I always hesitate to do this, but it's not, I don't think, very loud, these heat tools, are they? They're not annoyingly loud. So hopefully you can hear me. I might wait for a minute. You can tell as it starts getting clear. It was nice and shining. So I don't know if you've ever noticed when you have done that, clear embossing like this, and I'll give you a close-up. It's actually a little bit dotty. I suppose that's the, actually, I'll quickly do it, and then if you can see that, it's just a little bit dotty. It's not smooth. I'll just heat it up again because I want to put the, so we're going to put layers on, and that helps to smooth it out so that it looks more like glass. So I've been putting about 5 layers on. You just do it until you think, oh, you can still hear, fantastic, thank you. I don't know whether to keep talking or not. You sort of do, you keep an eye on it, and you wait until it's flat and shining. So I've been, as I say, been doing about 5 of these, and all you do is just keep adding Versamark until you have a smooth, glassy look. Now I won't keep going. I don't think you want to just sit here and listen to this for about 6 times. So about 5 or 6 times, and it will come out clear. And then what you do, and I've prepared this ahead of time, what you do is you go and stick it in the freezer for 15 minutes. And I've got my little chili bag here, and I have got it in here to keep it cold. Okay, so you just take it out of the freezer, and all you do, I'll get this close, is you just crack it. Did you see that? Hear that? Just crack it's incredible. Now, one little note, if you crack it and you don't like where it's cracked, you can reheat this and do it again. But I think cracks are quite random, so can you see that? Oops, I'm off camera there. The crack's coming, so you're just pinching the card until you can hear the crack. So I don't know if you can hear it. And you just keep going until you're quite happy with the cracks on it. Now, you could leave it like this, or, just add a bit more there, or what you can do is grab a dauber. Because I'm doing a vintage look, I'm going to grab a dauber, and I'm going to just go over the cracks with a bit of the early espresso, like so. So this will help them pop and make it look more aged. There we go, and then, of course, we don't want to leave it looking dirty like that. Just grab your microfiber cloth and just wipe away any excess, and it just remains in the cracks, like so. Isn't that amazing? I just really, really love how this works. Hopefully you're able to see that on the screen. Okay, so to finish the card off, we will pop it together on the base. Now I have got a early espresso mat for that. Oops. So thank you, Cindy Godwin, for suggesting this. And if there's anyone else, I just love learning something new myself. So if there's something that you've seen that you want me to go over, I'm more than happy to. Okay. And then I've also just used a couple of these dies from the bundle, and let's grab my, oops, that's this side, I think, to pop that on. and put that one on first. And I'm just going to line it up there on the side, just for something a little bit off centre. Okay. You got your, fantastic. Oh, excellent. You've been playing with your things, have you, Alison? Playing with your goodies. Your BBB. I know, I'm still waiting for mine. I'm a bit worried I'm not going to get it before Easter. And of course, if it doesn't come tomorrow, then you don't get much mail over Easter, do we? So, it's always exciting getting a big brown box delivered to the door. Even though you've ordered it, you know what's in it. You sure? Good. It was a big box of goodies, wasn't it? Lots of things to play with. Okay. And I'm just going to tie a little bow with this. I think the linen thread is gorgeous on vintage card, or lace. But I thought I'd just do this today. Okay, we have a glue dot. Get my tool out, but my nails come in handy sometimes for this sort of thing. Oh, it's so nice and shiny. I hope it sticks to it actually. Didn't think of that, but and a couple of embellishments. Let me see. I think we'll use that one. So I hope everyone everyone has a go at doing this technique now. That one there. And one more. Go, and that is done. I've just used a few layers of clear embossing putty over the glasses and bottle and the brood for you. Oh, good idea. Yes, to make it look like glass. Very good. Yes, because as long as you don't crack it, put it in the freezer and crack it, you've got that very fabulous glass look, haven't you? Because look how in between, how wonderfully shiny that is. That would be perfect. So that is your cracked glass technique, and as Shani's saying, if you don't crack it, you've got a beautiful shiny glass look, and it's just the layers are just to even out the sort of dots that you get when you melt the embossing powder, and it really is beautiful and shiny. So just a couple of other cards I've used with the suite, not with this technique, but probably cards I have showed you before, but more vintagey sort of ones. These are more shabby chic ones that I made with this suite. I just love how different they all turn out. And then this one I did quite different with slimline today. So very versatile suite, and yeah, just love it. There's so much in it that you can create with different styles. So I hope you enjoyed that. You had to do a few layers, yes. It's about 5 or 6 to get it quite smooth. But it's worth it, and it's quite quick if you just, don't have to use Versamark, which is, and you just keep putting the layer on while it's warm. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed and want to assist me, you could share this video for me. That would be absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, I'd really wish you all well, and I will look forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care. Bye.